Hey everybody, Happy New Year. It is New Year's Day. We made it to another Wednesday, made it to another day, made it to another decade. So I'm so glad to have you here with me. This is part 5 of how to paint the portrait in airbrush and ink of a Latin beauty. Part 5, which is very, very exciting. So this is Chenoa. She's a Mexican singer, those who have been following along. So you can see how far we have gotten, which is very cool. It's going to focus her up a little bit. And so today, through your request, we are going to go ahead and work on the sequins of her blouse. That's going to be very interesting challenge, but I think this is something that we'll do together, which will be very cool. Also, today is the Patreon. Those who have joined Patreon are eligible for the winning of the portrait of Alice, and that is this portrait right here. Let's see if I could, yep, there she is. So this is going to be what we are doing the drawing for, which is very, very exciting. So we're going to do that, I would say, probably maybe around 10:15. We'll go ahead and do that. Then we'll definitely announce the winner. So that's going to be very exciting. So I'm excited about that. So if I go to my Patreon, let me see if I have Patreon set up here. Where is it? Okay, here's Patreon, and if I come over here, I think I could actually I'll do that later because I want to get right down to work with you. Let me go ahead and set up the chat, the YouTube chat viewer. There we go. Oh, look at that. We already have some people here. Isn't that the best? So that's very exciting. Let me see if I can move this up. So we have Willie. Happy New Year. Tone, good to see you. Happy New Year. And 88H8R88, good to see you. So glad you're here. Mark. So Mark, we've been talking through comments, so I'm very happy that you're here today. And so happy 2020, right? 2020. Oh my God, new decade. It's unbelievable, right, guys? Literally unbelievable. So let me see if I can just lighten this up. So bear with me. I always have to check this out, check out things. So the first thing I want to do on the big screen, I want to go ahead and just come back and see if I could see part 5 up on the big screen. Let me see. It's not. Just come down here and. So give me one moment, guys. We always go through this every week, right? So I'm going to go to my videos, and I don't see part 5 yet on my screen, but that's okay. Perhaps it'll show up in a little bit. Okay, so I have my Extreme Patriot Arrow modified for my specifications with the MAC valve, also in conjunction with the Precision Air Control valve over here, and you get just this amazing control. So let's go ahead and load the light mixture. Remember what I always say, the light mixture is what you always want to start when you're going back into your work. Reason being is that with the light mixture, it's almost like, you know, when you're oil painting and doing your first couple of strokes, you want to warm up. You don't want to come in cold. So what I like to do is take the same paper that I'm using, like scrap papers when I cut it, and test out the airbrush, make sure it's working correctly. And I have the light mixture in here. Let's see. Okay, very good. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and reacclimate ourselves to some of the areas here. Like right over here, we can go a little darker under her nose. And as always, you know, as Tone and Willie, you know, just always feel free to ask any questions. That's the best part of this. Any questions, comments, you know, talk about how your New Year's was, you know, All topics are good here. And we are just going and darkening up some areas, getting reacclimated with the painting here. Nothing too crazy, no big changes in the first couple of minutes when you're going back into a painting. You're just warming up, you know. You don't want to warm up doing something like really important. You want to get to that when you're all warmed up, as I said before. So right now you see we are, oh, Tone says that he was asleep with some artwork on his lap. Oh, is that what happened during New Year's? Yeah, it was a nice New Year's. I had a good New Year's Eve. There was a wonderful party with my neighbors, so I had fun there. And then I got to call my mom. So I'm just going to work on her hair just a little bit here. Let's just get that established, and then we're going to go right into where we were going to start. Let me lighten that up just a little bit, which will be going into that blouse with the sequins. Willie says, was the only one that was airbrushing when the new year arrived. I know that's sad. I was airbrushing probably up until, I would say, around 7. But that's a great way to start the year there, Willie, that's for sure. Great way to start the year, great way to end the year. Now remember, we're gonna just warm up a little bit, and then we're gonna do what we set out to do, is work on that blouse with all those sequins. So I started doing some tests, and you guys are going to find this interesting. Hey, Christian, good to see ya. Thank you so much, Christian. I appreciate that. So Christian, not too long ago, got one of these Extreme Patriot arrows with the modified trigger, so that's pretty exciting. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with that. So we're just moving around, and so that's what we're doing right now. Getting warmed up so we can go into that blouse. I had a lot of people say they wanted to see me do that blouse. So you guys asked for it. You guys are going to get it. So let's just start. And we're going to start in like little areas here and there. There we go, just like that. Oh yes, Willie, of course, definitely. I think that's a good way to start the year. You know, when you're doing something like a blouse or something like this, very abstract forms, you don't got to go crazy, but you just have to pay attention and sort of stick with it, because you know, you definitely could get lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate my second, I'm going to go ahead and load my second airbrush with the medium mixture here. This way I got dueling airbrushes. So this way I can come in and sort of deepen those shapes once I have them. Okay, so here we are in the other airbrush with the medium mixture. I want to darken them, but I also want to make sure that I get some texture, you know? Just a little variation. You don't got to go crazy. But so much better doing it this way than, let's say, going in with a, let's say, yes, one for each hand, Willie. That's true. You know, it's so much more fun and authentic going in this way than with stencils, I think. I'm not knocking it if you do that. I'm just saying for me, it's just a little more fun. So I'm just going in with the medium mixture here, just darkening up some of those areas. You know, where it's darker, and then we're going to come back in with the dark mixture a little bit later. So what we'll do is we'll establish with the light mixture right here. You see how the light mixture, you know, we're not being so committed. We can be a little more loose, a little more free. And then we're going to come in afterwards. We'll come in with the white pastel and really just complete, you know, just getting the variation that's in this blouse here. And by no means am I trying to be perfect. You know, I'm not a photorealist. I'm not going to spend X amount of hours doing something with such little payoff where I'm going to get every little dot. Come back in with the medium mixture. Get a little more forceful with some of these darks. And notice I have the 8-gallon airbrush compressor by California Air Tools. Not an airbrush compressor, but just a compressor. But you see with the 8 gallons, the compressor goes off a lot less, and there it is. And I have the door open, so you can see it's a lot quieter. Hey Gloria, how's it going? Good to see you. Around 10, I would say around 10:30, we're going to go ahead and do the drawing of see who won the Alice. So that's cool. Gloria's in the drawing, so that's exciting. There we go. And just we're gonna very cool. So we're just gonna continue moving around. Now what we can do is we could go ahead and let's even use our fabric pen, Fons and Porter. And since we're working with paper, fabric pens are perfect for what we're doing. Let me find my glove here. Michael Jackson would be proud. So here we go. And so let's go ahead and start putting in some of these sort of highlights here. That's funny, Christian. That's hilarious. And as you can see, it does take patience doing something like this, but the patience will pay off. The trick is to stick with it. And then we can come in with more, maybe softer pastels and really do some nice detail here and there. And then in here, we have these lights that are in between these rows. Go. Let's go back to our medium mixture and just do some variations in here. Now when we come in with the dark mixture to really pop out some of these shapes, it's going to be great. Okay, so color and sound is good today, as good as normal. There we go. And you know, when you do this type of technique, you just have to really pay attention to where the lights are showing up, and you can keep things a little abstract, you know. Oh, fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tone and Willie and Gloria, you know, and I appreciate your feedback. Let me know that the sound is good. So what we got to do, what we want to do is just extend these darks all the way down. So right here, very interesting. So use your pencil when you can. Pencil is always going to be better than if you were using, let's say, you know, the airbrush over here. So this is where the sleeve sort of folds right about here. So what we'll do, and also we just want to make sure we just indicate where these lines are in the design of her shirt there. There we go. And over here, it looks like everything is just sort of light. And then we can come in with the medium mixture. Sort of a light medium mixture over here. Go. That is a lot of details, Gloria. Yes, it's gonna be time consuming, but a lot of people were asking to see it, so that's cool. You know, I'm somebody who's going to the medium mixture here. I'm somebody who is going to simplify. I'm not going to go crazy with every detail, but still You can be abstract, but you have to pay attention to the basic gist of what's happening. Where you see the white, you can erase a little bit and pull that up first. And then we can get our white pastel with the stump and see if we could give a little stronger applications of color here and there. Stronger application of white. And you see, like when you do the pastel, you know, with the sandpaper and sort of apply it with the stump or tortilla, you really get a nice coverage. A lot better than with the Fons and Porter, but you don't have the precision that the Fons and Porter allows. And here we have a lot of sequins sort of bunched up together here. Now we're going to have fun doing the dark next to those sequins. Load some more. And once we go ahead and put in those darker areas, this light is really going to pop out. So now we'll go ahead with our medium mixture. And let's go ahead and apply that. Pay attention to the reference. The 1 second rule always applies. Meaning the ratio of 100%. So if you're looking for 1 second, you paint for 1 second. If you're looking for 3 seconds, you paint for 3 seconds, and you don't vary that. In doing that, you're going to make sure that you're paying attention, and you want to pay attention. You don't have to be exact either. Just pay attention enough. Then over here you have some light areas, but then some dark areas coming down. Dark stripes. Hey, what's up, Brad? Good to see you. That's so cool. So, and David, good to see you. How's it going? And 88 says, "Hey Timothy, what's the price of this? What's the price of your secret recipe ink, and where can I get it?" Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So, if you go on my website, which is let me see if I can find it. Where is my website? If you go on my website, which is Painted Glyphs, that would be really fantastic. So let me see if I can put that up here for you. Okay. So right here, I'll put it up on top of the screen. And so, you know, and it's only $16.95, and for a limited time only, I'm throwing in the white ink, which is really cool. So that's going to be great. So there it is on the screen. So you can purchase it at www.paintedglyphs.com, and there'll be a link on the ink. And it's only $16.95 plus shipping and handling 8/8. So, and I ship internationally, which is really cool. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, David. It's always good to see you guys. So around 10:15, we're going to go ahead and do the drawings to see who won Alizé, which is really fantastic. So yeah, for a limited time, I go ahead and draw in the white, which is my white mixture. And that's how we do at the beginning. We go from the very light to the very dark in succession. And so we just have to make sure we keep moving around, of course. And for me, I'm just trying to simplify things as well, you know. So right now I'm going to stay up on this side here. And put in some of those lights. Go. And the trick, of course, is to very much stick with what you're seeing. Try and concentrate on it. Do the best you can. When you're doing something abstractly like this, if you pay attention and really stick with it, what you will come up with will be more than good enough. A little bit of a crease here in her blouse. We can intensify some darks here and there. And so we're going to maybe look for some whites here on this side. So we're going to take our pastel. With our stump. And let's hit some of these whites here. So right now we're going with the light medium mixture and white, but when we come in with the black, with the dark mixture, it's really going to pull these things together, and her shirt's really going to really have the appearance of this sort of clubbing shirt. And just look for where you can, you know, echo some shapes here and there. But there's definitely these little rows here that we have to pay attention to. But like I said, we have to find these shapes on this side here. So happy New Year's, David. So good to see you. How you feeling, my friend? Ah, that's great, Dave. Good to hear that, my friend. Okay, so let's go back to our medium mixture and see if we can just deepen some of these colors, maybe create some texture here and there. Same thing over here. Let's see if we can harden some of these edges of these shapes. Okay, so we're going to take our other airbrush and we're going to remove the light mixture, and we're going to go ahead and put some dark mixture in there. Just so I can show you how I actually go in there and sort of create more interest. Always test out on a piece of paper that is the same that we're working on. Okay, everything working really well. Lower that air pressure, and let's go ahead and deepen some of these darks here with our dark mixture. So you can see how the dark mixture really makes a bigger statement. You want to watch out for spidering, so you lower your air pressure on the pack valve, and you can get pretty precise, hence the name. So David says, Tim, when you get a chance, email me so I can order something from you and get help on a few things. Oh, definitely. What's your email, David, just to make sure? And you see how I just deepen everything, giving things a little bit more interest while paying attention. Oh, perfect. Definitely will make that happen, sir. Creating some texture here. You want to make sure that you don't just have some areas of dark and other areas not have that dark value. You want to pretty much have it in as much area as possible. So while I'm here now, I can see that the hair has this nice dark value, so we'll put that in. And let's use a freehand shield. If I can locate my freehand shield, what did I do with it? So let me look for my freehand shield. Oh, here it is. I want to really begin to delineate the hair, so I'm just going to use my freehand shield here. Remember, perpendicular and not parallel. See how I'm just sort of pulling out that hair there. So Rick, hey, how's it going? So glad. Yes, so you bought one of the inks and can't wait to try it out, Rick, and definitely. And you know what, Rick? I went ahead and added some extra ink for you. So you're going to be happy. I went ahead and put in the white ink in there. So you can do the whole technique from beginning to end, which is very excited. Hey, John, good to see you. The Lucy for this? No, I used a digital projector. You know, ones that you would see in an office, that sort of thing, and I projected the image up there. But good question, John. Good to see you. Thank you so much, and good to see you, Rick. Oh, Rick, I want to know how you like them, and also I'm very excited to see what you do with them. So I'm excited, Rick. So right now we're moving along with the dark mixture here. Okay, so you see I'm just moving around, and let's go continue now with the medium mixture, and let's do some of these lines down here. And like I say, you know, you don't have to stick with this like 100%. You know, it's not as important, but you want to get a sense of what's going on. You know what I mean? So you don't have to go crazy with this detail, but you do have to pay attention, which is important, you know. And over here, it's just very light on this side. And then we have some buildup of those sequins over here, especially over here. Some big buildup of the sequins. And we're gonna, then it gets a little more simple as we go down here. And of course I'm using the medium mixture right now, and I'm probably at around, I have 25 psi on the compressor, then I have this MAC valve, and then the pack valve. So I'm really refining, you know, my air pressure, but the setting on the compressor is 25 psi. Okay, so let's come on in with the, so we have the medium mixture, we did the dark mixture, and let's start coming in with the white pastel and start doing some of these, you know, sequins here and there. But like you can see as we go back, it's kind of looking okay. We know we have a lot more to do, but at least we're getting a feeling of those sequins. We're not getting overwhelmed by them. And then we have a lot of, you know, shapes in here. They're pretty abstract, but, you know, you want to pay attention to as much as you can, not get too hung up on them. And then you can come in with your Fons and Porter here, and you can do some of the more abstract, precise shapes here. Same thing over here. So next week we are going to start a contest, or a giveaway of a year subscription to Airbrush Step by Step magazine. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So definitely stay tuned for that information on that. That's going to be great. It's a great magazine, great editor, Roger, and we talked. He's a friend of the channel, so that's exciting. Oh, a little too much pressure there. Hopefully I have another one in here. Let's see. If not, I have to go to the other studio real quick. But if that happens, what we'll do is we'll take a little break to do the Patreon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Patreon account real fast. So we're going to take a little break to see who won the contest. So let's go over to, I'm going to go over to my Patreon account, and I'm going to write down the 5 people who are in the running right now. Let's make that happen. Patreon. And I should be there. There I am. Okay, I'm going to go to my patrons. And let's see. Okay, view current patrons. Okay, so these are the people who are in the running. And I'm going to write them down. Okay, and then we're going to put them in the hat. And then we're going to see who they are. So the first one is Ray. Let's put that there. Ray. And then the second one is Wendy. I'm going to make sure we're being fair. Wendy. The third one is Gloria. And let's see who else. We have Brad. And then we have Robert. So this is a pretty good, this was like a really great thing. I mean, thank you so much for becoming a patron. That really helps. And we have Robert. Okay, so let's go back to the screen. So those are our current patrons on Patreon. So let me lower the contrast a little bit. So now I have to find a hat. We'll use the Atlanta Falcons hat. We had a rough season this year, but that's okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to put all these names in here, and I'm gonna just blindly put my hand in there. I'm gonna shake it up really good. So you guys excited as to who's gonna win? And of course it is for the Alizé painting. Where is she? Here she is. That's the painting. So let's go ahead and put her over here, lower, make her smaller. Okay, so, and then last but not least, we have Ray. So, drum roll please. All right. So there we are. Let me see if I can change the camera. Okay, so here we are. So there's my camera. As you can see, I'm not looking. It's over here. I'm not looking. Whatever. So it's up here, so there's no way I can look. So here is the winner. So I'm going right in, and let's see who it is. Make sure I only have one piece of paper. Okay, we're going to switch cameras. So we see we have the the same piece of paper. And so the winner who gets Alizé is, oh my God, Gloria, you won Alizé. I can't believe it. So how exciting is that? Are you excited? I'm excited. So that's so cool. So Gloria, everyone say congratulations to Gloria. Thank you so much. And we're going to have contests like this all the time. So that's all very exciting, you know. So let's see if I can find Alizé here, if she's here. And it's a beautiful painting. I really love it. I had a lot of fun doing it. A lot of people loved it on Facebook. I had a lot of really good reactions. So that's the Alizé painting, which you will be winning. So that's exciting. So next week, we're going to start the information for a free 1-year subscription to Airbrush Step-by-Step magazine. So always giving away something exciting. So, you know, we have a lot of friends. We have Speedball, we have Badger, we have a lot of great things going on. So that's cool. So far we had 3 giveaways and we have 3 different winners. So far so good. So far it's working out. We're spreading the wealth, right guys? So that's pretty cool. So let's see. All right, now back to work. No rest for the weary, right guys? So let me see if I can get some water. I'm dying of thirst here. I'm dying over here. So there's some water. Okay. As you can see, looking at the painting, even though we're doing these abstract shapes, she's coming together, which is nice. When we look back, it looks pretty good, right? It's not too bad. It's not exact, but you know what? It's an abstract shape. You don't got to go crazy with it. And you can always go ahead and make, you know, white pastel goes over the black pretty easily. So like right over here, we see we have a larger area of white pastel. We can go ahead and just add that like so. And then over here, we have some larger areas here. And we can use our medium mixture here, and we can shape some of those with a freehand shield, which is really good. Well, thank you, Willie. I appreciate that. We can maybe make those shapes a little bit more hard-edged using the freehand shield. That's no problem. And we can load more pastel on that, maybe even go with a softer pastel. We can definitely do that. And if we want to go ahead and maybe move on over to this side, we can do that as well. So we sort of have to plow the field, so to speak, getting ready. We can use this Stadler electric eraser. Sort of get that ready there. And then come in with the white pastel, and we can hit that real strong light. And then if it's like really light, you know, we can go ahead and just apply that directly, and that's okay. There we go, because we're doing these like sequin things. And same thing here, we can go ahead and apply that a little more forcefully here with this. Just here and there. Now, there are times we might have to go even with a softer pastel. That's fine. And then, you know, we have a lot of like lesser lights, and we can do that with the electric eraser over here. I like the electric eraser because you can kind of draw with it. And then come back over it with the white pastel. Just a touch. You don't have to, doesn't have to be as intense, so you just lighten the amount of pressure. Right, and then down here, which is quite interesting, we could use a aggressive eraser, and we can, or let me see if we can do it this way. Like there's little dots of the, and I think that works pretty well. So the trick is to really stick with it. Normally I wouldn't do this on my live stream, but you guys really, I got a lot of people asking for it. So I guess it's something you normally don't see on a live stream. Is something, you know, time consuming but could be overwhelming. So I'm glad to do it. Just doesn't make the most exciting live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reestablish some of the dark. Since we have this dark mixture here, we can deepen up some value here and there. And don't forget to use your freehand shield here. Make sure it's clean. You don't want to transfer ink from one area to another. Remember, perpendicular and not parallel in 90% of the cases. There we go. And so here is interesting. We can darken this edge as we go. So let's go ahead and do that. So even though we're working on the sequins, we're still moving around. We don't want to get too lost into the sequins. Still want to move around. When you see something, you have like a value, then move around and see where you can put that value elsewhere. The time on these live streams go by so fast, you know. It's just so enjoyable hanging out with you guys and girls. So Willie says, "Are you kidding me, Tim? It's awesome to see things like this. Your live streams are the best." Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. These are great, and I really enjoy it. So this is, I actually started doing YouTube like really consistently in Airbrush in January 17th of 2017. So look how far we've come in 3 years. And it's amazing. It's exciting to see where the next 3 years is going to take our channel and our little community here. And a lot of people are saying, maybe I should go into color, but you know what? I like the fact right now that I'm doing this channel is in black and white using India ink and sort of helping people to get control of their airbrush and just realizing that they don't have to use any kinds of mediums or reducers, and just simplifying things and really teaching people that their airbrush is a good investment and that they can do it. And so I kind of like the oh yeah, it's been that long, Willie, definitely. And these live streams, we are going towards our 3rd year. I think I started doing the live streams probably like in March or somewhere around there of 2017. So yeah, first I got back in. Now I was doing YouTube videos since 2008, but very sporadically. But this is definitely a labor of love, guys. So I do like the fact that it's really something that is helping people rediscover their airbrush. And it's not them, it's the fact that they're not taught, that, acrylic is just not made for airbrush. And unless you have a lot of experience in viscosity, you're going to have a lot of trouble, and it gets very frustrating. So many people have told me over the years how they almost gave up airbrush, but this channel sort of brought them back. So I'm not sure if I want to go straight into color, maybe do some color here and there, but I like the fact that it really helps. And with black and white like this, you can do a whole career with this. It's nothing. But I will do some color stuff, but maybe maybe we'll do it like on a separate channel or something. But I definitely want this to be a place that's not overwhelming, and that people can try it on their own and really realize that the airbrush is is something that they can do it. You all can do it. You all have done it. And Willie says when he started watching, it was almost all pencil. Yes, exactly. In the very beginning, it was basically pastel and pencil. And then little by little, well, what happened was I lost my job. My company sort of went by the wayside. They closed their doors, so I was no longer commuting an hour and a half each way. And with that commute, which was very interesting, I used to draw every day. Then one day I said, what if I used those techniques and did it with India ink on the paper that I was drawing with? And that's how this technique was born. And if anyone knows, that first live stream that I did using this technique was that Natalie Wood. You remember that one, Willie? The Natalie Wood? Do you guys remember that one? So that Natalie Wood was funny. There were 2 almost disasters. One time I spilled water all over it, and I was able to dry it. And then another time I spilled some ink, but it was like a little bit off the page, so I was able to go ahead and, which is really funny, go ahead and crop it. So that was the first one of this technique, and it just seemed like a perfect live stream technique and something that everyone really, a lot of people really need to see this. It's more important to control the airbrush than go into color, and that's what I think. I recommend this airbrush, which is, really just blows away the custom micron, and it's at 1/5 the price, with my modifications, of course. And same thing with my mixtures. The light mixture is you can get great detail in the light mixture, and that's why you use that in the beginning, right? And then then you use the medium mixture for the mid going, and of course the dark mixture to do the more potent details as we're doing here. So you want to watch out for spidering, so you're just going to lower that pack valve. So I'm going to be giving away another painting pretty soon. Oh, did I sell that one? It should be in your Thank you, Willie. I actually did sell Natalie Wood, so that was pretty cool. I really appreciate that one. Thank you. And I appreciate what you said, Willie. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. It was the one that started it all, so that's pretty cool. So many projects we've done together over the years, right? I mean, it's really something. So as you can see, we're just sort of moving around and sort of hitting some of these really nice darks. Now, I'm not being so literal because I don't have to be, but I just want to get the impression, like here, the impression of what's happening. And that's all we really need to do. So let's go back to the white pastel and see if we could move around some more. Not easy with this doing something like this, and we want to be like perfect, right? We have this sort of perfectionist sort of, but you don't have to be perfect. It's going to translate, so there's no problem there. And the same thing with these little sort of rows in between, little light in between the rows there. You just have to indicate it. You don't have to be so literal. Okay, since we have the white pastel out, let's plow the field for some of these nice, beautiful, bright whites over here. So as you can see, just a little bit over here, and then we could just sort of pull out some of these sequins here and there. So, have any of you guys done any of the digital painting out there? And if so, what do you think of it? And what programs you've been using? And has it helped your regular painting? I would love to hear. For me, it has helped immensely. Just with composition, uh, also lightening areas and darkening. Now we got a lot to do with Shanoa's face, her beautiful face and everything. We have a lot to do, but right now we're going to concentrate on here to do it the best we can and then move forward. So we still have a lot to do here, but there's a lot of variation that you can get with digital. You can really create and get so creative in digital by changing, maybe making an alternate light source, maybe a backlighting situation. So I'm learning about that in this program called Critter. So what programs do you guys use? Would love to hear. So as you can see, even though it's a very abstract shape, I think we're doing pretty well with getting this. So while you guys answer that question about digital art, I'm going to go get the refill on this. It's in the other studio. Talks among yourselves. Now that is an extreme rarity. We're in the other studio and then bang, what I was looking for was right there. Let me see if you guys are there, or maybe I have to go ahead and fix the... okay, let's see. Oh, okay, so I have to go ahead, and I do see you guys are talking. So let me go ahead and reauthorize the chat. So that did happen again. And I guess it's 10:30. Oh no, there we are. Okay, cool. So I don't need to. So Willie says that he hasn't done anything digital. He don't know if it's for me. That's true, but they, it's really cool. They have these like $20 tablets that you can get. And you can just check it out and see if it, when you get a chance, see if it's something that that you would enjoy, I didn't think it was something that I was going to enjoy as much. It's sort of like a guilty pleasure for me now. I really have fun doing it. Okay, so remember, this is the Fonz and Porter, and I do have some LEDs here. So question is, how do I load this bad boy? So what I'm thinking is I just go ahead and put these in there. Let's put, hopefully these will work. Let's see. They're all pretty much standard, aren't they, guys? So let's see. The tests, this perfect. Okay, so that's good. So let's go ahead and start applying some of these light areas here. And what's really cool, Willie, is that I'm able to really manipulate some photos, which I really do enjoy. And then, so that does help. So that's something to really, I'm going to be talking about that more and do maybe some quick live streams on Facebook, just demonstrating some of the techniques, and also maybe putting a link on some of the real inexpensive tablets you can get. Works right with your computer. There's one that's only it was like $11 this week, which was really fantastic. And then let's go over here. We can work on some of these little shapes here. So abstract here. It's almost like a Jackson Pollock. But it's nice the way it's sort of coming together. Yes, exactly. And that's what I really, really enjoy with it. And it sort of frees me up to change the background, add color that wasn't there, or even you even can go ahead and lighten up an area and the other area stay dark, or even lighten an area and darken another, which is a lot of fun. So as you can see, the sequins are not looking too bad, and we're going to continue with that. Have a little bit of water. So let's remember, when we're erasing, we don't want to go aggressive right away. We want to try with an eraser that's a little bit softer. So there's a little bit of this light here. So let's see if we can try and get that with a softer eraser. If not, we get a little stronger. But it looks like we're doing okay. Okay, and then, so that's not bad. I'm happy with that. Then over here, we have some lighter hair, right like that. And then let's see if we have some lighter hair areas. Where is, okay, just gotta put that here. Okay, so let's look up here. So while we're doing some hair, we're just gonna move around. We definitely got to work on her fingernails. So 88 says, hey Tim, do inks have to be, that's the beauty of my inks, you don't have to reduce them. I reduce them perfectly for you. So the light mixture is it's a set formula, medium and dark. And even my white mixture, if you look at the beginning of a lot of my live streams, this is a set formula. And they all come with the eyedropper. So you just take it, put it right in your airbrush, makes your life so much easier. So that's why, 88, that I marked that it's so important that I stick with black and white, because I can make it so easy for those who are ready to give up with airbrush, right? And or maybe just fed up with their airbrush clogging with those acrylics, or that sort of thing. Sort of brings their airbrush back to life. One of the things that makes me so sad is when I go on those airbrush forums, and some guys and girls are like, I'm selling my airbrush, I just don't like it, or whatever, and people buy them for like half price, and that breaks my heart. Because for me, we all bought our airbrushes for a reason, I don't want people to give up. I know they can do it, so that's basically my goal. So it's pretty cool. So Willie says he has a thing for erasers. The only thing I have more than airbrushes. Oh, fantastic! So what's your favorite airbrush, or your favorite eraser in the world, Willie? Because I'm an eraser guy too. I love erasers. Going to deepen some of these darks here. So while I have the dark mixture in here, remember, always keep your lid on. That's so important. So with the dark mixture, I'm just going to intensify some of those darker hair areas. And then I could take my more aggressive eraser. Let's sharpen that together. Oh, that's the one I'm holding in my hand. It's a good one, right? That was perfect timing. And so we definitely should call Faber-Castell about that. You know, this is definitely product placement as perfect as it can get. And you see now see that, Willie? We couldn't have planned that any better. And so you see, like right now, I'm sort of working in that hair. Her beautiful hair. So what do you think the chances of this wonderful singer to go on this live stream and just say, hey, and give a shout out? That would be amazing. So that's going to happen. You think that's going to happen one day, guys? That one day I'm going to be doing one of these paintings and that person, if it's a celebrity, they're just going to pop their head in. Wouldn't that be great? So this eraser is really great. You know, you can really get it's an aggressive eraser. I mean, it really, but what's the takeaway? Because everything that is really good and everything is really fantastic has a drawback. San Francisco, most beautiful city in the world, just has those horrible earthquakes that could happen any moment. So everything has a takeaway, and the takeaway with the 705B 705AB is the fact that it tears into the paper. So you got to make sure you use it when you need to. Don't use this aggressive eraser when the Nock 3.8 would just work fine, or even the Mono 0 round would work fine. So you want to go progressively from soft to the hard and save the paper as much as possible. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see. Let's work on some of the sequins on this side. Whoop. Let me make her a little bigger there. And let's put her in focus. Okay, and then let's see if we can lighten her up a bit. There, perfect. Yes, exactly. Willie says taking it easy with the 705AB is crucial. I agree, 100%. Same thing working with paper. Working with paper is really fantastic. And, you know, when you're working with paper, you know, you have a lot of advantages. You can use pencil, pens, pastel, but you can tear into the surface and destroy the texture a lot quicker than you would with wood or metal. So that's always a drawback. And Brad says he got an iPad and Procreate and really liking them. That is great. I heard so many great things about Procreate, and it just takes a while getting a hang of those keyboard shortcuts. Well, not so much in Procreate, but I know on the PC, like on Krita, it's all, Shift Alt C, stuff like that, Control, what the different functions are on the keyboard. Once you learn them and just practice, it becomes so easy. And that's pretty cool. And he says he tried his Patreon out for the first time yesterday, and it's unbelievable the kind of detail he's getting. Yes, so So Bradley went ahead and purchased the Extreme Patriot Arrow, and he went ahead and got the smaller trigger, and that is fantastic. So yeah, just the amount of detail that you can get with that airbrush is just amazing. Once you change that trigger, it just really makes a big difference. You get, and I'm not exaggerating, you do get custom micron detail with that. Now, custom micron detail, yeah, that's pretty cool, but wait till you hear that it costs $100 and the custom micron costs about $500. So about $500 for, I think I got mine years ago for $479. So yes, definitely it's impressive, what Badger can do. The way that the Extreme Patriot is produced, with the nozzle, the air control, air control cap, the cone that's in there, it's just the floating nozzle. It's really fantastic. Just a winning design, and it's from the guts of the airbrush that really makes it that good. And I wouldn't say it was that good because I use it. If I wasn't using it, I was telling you how good it was, and I would say be dubious of what I'm saying. But if I'm using it for all my artwork, then and I'm doing it 6, 7, 8 hours a day at times. If the Sotar was better, trust me, I'd be using the Sotar. If the custom micron was better, I'm sorry, I don't care what brand, I would definitely be using that other brand. If Grex was better, I would be using Grex. But the Badger Extreme Patriot Arrow is just a wonderful, wonderful piece of machinery. It's close. Willie said that it's closer to 600 now for that for the not the Extreme Patriot Arrow, but for the custom micron. And oh, you ordered the second Patriot. That is exciting. Oh man, that's great. That's great to hear that. And I'll tell you, having two of them is fantastic. I have two, and there are times when I'll be using a dark mixture and a light mixture, and I can, as today, and I could have them, ready to go and move around even faster. So let me know when that arrives. That's going to be great. So does anyone out there have any new goals for 2020 as far as art and airbrush? Would love to hear. So what I'm going to do is I'm using the light mixture, and I'm going to go ahead and just put in some of the spectral highlights, a lot like you would see on a lake, in her hair. No, we were working on her blouse, but we got to move around too, And Willie says, that's funny, Brad. I was thinking of getting a second one. Yes, so cool, And I have two of them, as you can see. Here are those bad boys, and they are just amazing. This is the one I've been using for going on a year and a half, and this one is one I just built. So and Tone says, the way you all talking about the airbrush, I'm going to have to get one. I'll tell you, Tone, when you get one, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And now you're working with ink, Tone, so something to definitely think about. You know, I think you're going to be very happy. Everyone is always extremely ecstatic. I haven't had an unhappy person with that yet, or haven't had an Iwata user stop using their custom micron. You know, so which is pretty cool. And just save you. You know, I always tell people, oh, I want the custom micron. I was like, great airbrush. Not going to tell you that's not a wonderful airbrush. I own one. I think they're fantastic. Just they're a work of art. But if you can get the same amount of detail and just, the same amount of precision, have it feel even more comfortable and ergonomic, then, definitely first try this airbrush. And I have never seen anyone who, went with my Extreme Patriot Arrow with the modified trigger and said, "Oh, I need the custom micron." Never. And Brad says he's a newbie and the Patriot is leveling the playing field. See, that's exactly it. It's the Extreme Patriot Arrow. It's my ink mixtures, which you don't have to worry about mixing the ink, diluting the ink. You just take the eyedropper, put it in your airbrush, you're ready to go. In the beginning you're using the light mixture, in the middle the medium, and at the end the dark mixture. So, and that's the airbrush, and everything is all tools, the pastel. Now, if we didn't have the white pastel, we would be coming in with white at the end. And you guys know what happens when you put white over dark. You get a blue shift and this ugly looking gray. But we don't have that problem because we're working on paper. And when we go ahead and apply our white pastel, and we just go ahead and just gradually lighten that up. So we're doing things that airbrush artists have kept secret, with, what they do, how much orange they put in there and all that. We don't have to worry about that. And that's why this channel, we're all creating really cool artwork with airbrush. So that's really nice. And Willie says, but just like a work of art, I'm afraid of touching it. Ah, yeah, it is beautiful. But you know what? It's made to create more artwork. So I know the feeling, right? Definitely. I always look at it this way. If I ever use art supplies where I don't, maybe I break it down, I can always get another one. That's the fringe benefit of, using art supplies. Just going ahead and having a reason to go to the art store. Or to go ahead and get more supplies on Amazon or Blick or what have you. I went to, last Friday, I went to Blick Art Supplies in Paramus, New Jersey, and it was fantastic. I didn't really need anything. I did need refills for my mono eraser because I was almost out. And I went there and I got a new pastel pencil, just here and there. But it was just nice to be around all those art supplies and watching people shop for art supplies. It was just nice. It's nice to realize that there's other people out there who have the art bug, So moving around with the white pastel, I'm going to intensify the light on her chin there. So I think things are going okay, things are going well. So now I'm going to show you a trick. Now we're using this pastel. We've always used this pastel. But maybe we would want like a real intense white somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be right back and show you another secret of mine. Now remember, I've been doing pastels for a lot longer than I have been working with airbrush. So I'm bringing some secrets from another medium. I mean, I'm talking a long time. So I'll be right back. Now, one thing I always have to clarify, definitely have to classify, is that these are always soft pastels. There are oil pastels out there, but you want to have a soft pastel. So these are different brands. I believe this one is probably like a Sennelier, and this one's a Sennelier. This one's probably something like Winsor & Newton White. They're a lot softer. What I mean soft is that they leave more pastel on the surface when you rub them. So what we're going to do, let me just darken this a little bit. We're going to go ahead and apply this and see how much more creamy that is. Then we are going to take that same stump. Now watch how much more pastel is deposited on the surface here. A lot more. And so we can get more of those spectral highlights. So it's important to realize that it's not, there's no limitations when it comes to art. See, it's a lot more creamy. See that? I mean, look at that. You can really see it now. There are no rules here, you know what I mean? So you can take a lot of that and then you could really deposit that. Look how brighter that is. So, and you would need that much brightness to get those sequins. So this is pretty exciting stuff. This is new, there's always something new that we're doing, which is really cool. Now Tone says he's going to get some tomorrow. He needs Yupo paper, the gray paper, and some illustration board. Very cool. Are you going to go to Pearl? Not Pearl's gone. Going to go to Blick there, Tone? So look how much more powerful those sequins are. But you know what? We needed this soft pastel. We really do, to get those sequins. So we're just gonna go ahead. Now remember, it's soft pastel. You don't want to use oil pastel. Big difference, night and day. Oil pastel would be a disaster. Now, can we use this bright light somewhere in the face? Of course. Let's go ahead while we have it, and let's just apply that right there. Pow! That's nice. Oh, Blick on 20th in Manhattan, right? No, it's Bond Street in Manhattan. And so is it in Queens where you are? So let's see, where else do we have a really strong light? Not too many other places. Maybe right here we have a strong light. And definitely want to get another stump here. Blend this out. Oh, okay, cool. I usually go when I'm in the city to one on Bond Street, right off of Broadway. There's a Barnes & Noble there, maybe about a block away. And I would say there's a Starbucks there, but there's a Starbucks on every street corner in Manhattan, right? As you can see, let's see how those spectral lights are working. Pretty good. We're getting a real sense of that outfit. Let's go back. Let's darken this up a little bit. There we go. So we're getting a nice sense of those sequins here and there. There's some that are really catching that light. And you know what? You know, who's going to say when they look at this, like, Tim didn't really do those sequins correctly? Well, I mean, they're all abstract shapes. So it really isn't important. But I paid attention just enough to get as much as I can. And, you know, like I said, I'm not a photorealist, so I'm not exactly concerned with going crazy, having it look exactly like it. You know, I'm not loyal to any photograph. I'm loyal to making a good painting, just as Rembrandt was, and Ingres, and all my heroes throughout art history. And we're going to go back in with the dark mixture. And Tone says, looks like sequins to him. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. We don't need to go crazy, but we do have to pay attention to a certain extent, right, guys? So we're doing that. So since we have this really creamy white pastel, let's intensify some of these lights, shall we? Okay. So part 6 is going to be coming up, you know, next week. And part 6, we're going to get into a little more, you know, finesse. Let's go ahead and put some lighter color in her cheek here. Give some volume to her. There we go. And let's do the same, little more intensity here on the top tip of her nose. A little more intense light, so that creamy pastel, we can really get in there. Let's apply some more of that creamy pastel onto the stump. Go. So you see we're sort of intensifying some of those lights where they need to be intensified just a little bit, not crazy. Still, you know, we're not really concerned about likeness. We're just concerned about sticking with the recipe. Likeness will come. We don't have to worry about that. Likeness is a, how do you say, it's a result of doing all the steps correctly. Hey Bill, what's going on, my friend? Good to see ya. Happy New Year. That was a good pet drawing painting you did. That was fantastic. The dog you posted not too long ago. There we go. And you see, by paying attention to the larger shapes, you are creating a likeness already. Remember that light is very much like a, how do you say, to me I feel light is very much like snow, in the sense that it builds up like snow and sort of tapers off. So let's lighten her up. Let's see if I can sharpen her. Best way to sharpen is to blow it up, and then we can see how we get. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now you can see as I'm intensifying the light, sort of like the tip of a mountain, in the sense that of a mountain peak gets more snow. That's exactly how we're handling this. And we can go ahead and do some of those negative spaces in the hair there, and then we can really create those wispy little hairs that are coming down by doing the negative spaces. So it's not always the positive spaces that are going to get you where you're going. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's the negative spaces that are going to really make the positive spaces work. Oh, so Bill said he went and finished it after the post and got a bunch to do right now. Oh, great. Yay, grateful. I know how you feel, Bill. You know, it's not easy making a living on your art, you know, squeaking a living out of it, you know, it's not easy. It's tough, really is. There's some intense light right here on her knuckle. We're going to go ahead and hit that. Lighten her up just a little bit. Okay. And where else do we see some intense light? Maybe right here. Just about right there. We're always looking for shapes as we're painting. Always, always. And so right now we're still modeling with that lighter color. So let's work on here. And as you can see, we're getting a nice sense of her. Go. And let me see if I can just lighten her up just a little bit here. Lower that contrast. There we go. Okay. Now, in her eyes here, there's a little lightening up. Remember, it's not just the white of the eyes, right? The white of the eyes, this part of her eye is being reflected by the light as well. So there's a little bit of light right here, close to her iris, and the same over here. And that's going to give her an appearance of that eye being in a three-dimensional space. There we go. Now I went a little crazy with the dots, so let's connect them. There we go. Now what can we do on this eye? Well, on that eye we have a lot more of a subtle variation here. So what I'm going to do is going to go back to our regular pastel. We don't want to go too crazy. Let's go ahead and lighten this up just a little bit. Just a little bit. This highlight here can never be as bright as this, ever. So you always got to make sure that this is in shadow. Nothing could be as bright as the light side. Okay, since we have a little bit of pastel here, let's go ahead and see if we could do a little variation in her lip. A little bit of that reflected light there, and give some real dynamic feel of her lip and the texture. And that negative, that reflected light is really important. Getting the reflected light from the lower lip there. And next week we're going to work on the sequins a little bit more. But let's do some fun stuff here. Now, one of the things is that you don't want to mix the stump that you were using the very soft pastel with the stump that you're using the harder pastel. They will contaminate each other and you have less control. So this is the stump I'm going to be using just for the regular pastel stick. This is the pastel I'm going to be using for the softer pastel. After I'm done, I can just clean them off, so we go back and have a fresh start. But definitely don't want to mix them when you're going. Okay, so definitely be wary of that. So we have this one, and let's go ahead and see if we could shape some of the lights here. And I'm using the not so soft pastel. And this is a definite method of painting, using paper, using the airbrush, and then going ahead with India ink and the white mixture, and then at the end the dark accents and the white pastel. So it's definitely a method. There are no rules here. There are principles, but there are no rules. I love it when you guys do your own thing and you tell me about it and I'm like, wow, that really works. I learned so much from you guys. Really have. You guys are geniuses, and you taught me so many things over the course of these 3 years. I'm going to hit those knuckles. Those knuckles are coming further. They're catching that light a bit more than other areas. So if they're facing the light at the same direction, if they're facing the light the same direction of another area that's getting a lot of light, then it's going to get the same value as this knuckle, because they're facing the light at the same angle and in relatively the same spot. So they're going to have the same value. Now at this stage of the game, you're going to see some differences, and maybe you'll see some things that you might have drawn wrong. But this stage of the game, if it's not glaring, you're going to have to live with any little drawing mistakes. It's okay. Done is better than perfect. Remember that, guys. That's a good statement. Done is always better than perfect. Learn from your mistakes and fix it in the next one. But okay, blast of light. I'm going back to the softer pastel. So where are some blasts of light? Okay, here's a blast of light right there on her fingernail. Let's put that there. Where are some other blasts of light? Okay, maybe we could work on this sequin right there. Let's go. You see I kind of move around a lot. That's what I always do. I recommend you guys move around a lot, because that's when you see the whole picture. Like playing chess, right? When someone begins, if I ever teach someone how to play chess, I always tell them, when they get a little bit better and they start thinking of strategy, is to see the whole board, right? You want to see the whole board. Otherwise, you're going to lose, because you have to see what your opponent's doing. Otherwise, their strategy, they're going to beat you every time. But when you start to see the whole board, that's when you start thinking as a chess player. Same thing with painting the portrait. When you see the whole board, you'll see different areas. If they're too light or too dark, you'll know by looking at the whole picture, right? So that's so important. And then let's say, you got overzealous, right? That happens. You can take a soft eraser and you can just erase that. You got a little overzealous. I get overzealous. No problem. Let's go and see here. Okay. And what I did was I delineated too much with this hand, so I just soften it from the heel. There is a difference, but not a glaring difference in this edge here. It's pretty darn soft. There we go. Okay, so let's take my kneaded eraser and see if I could just sculpt out some darks here just by erasing some of that white pastel. And you can tap that. There we go. And okay, so pretty happy with that right now. So let's go ahead and do something interesting if I could find it. Sometimes I can find it, sometimes I can't. It's called Blackbeard Wheat. And let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. I got a nice one here. Look how beautiful that is. So the Blackbeard Wheat basically is something that is going to help you get beautiful skin texture. And I'm going to use the Extreme Patriot Arrow that has the dark mixture in there. Let me increase that. And Willie says trying to be perfect has held him back. When he knows he can't do something, he doesn't try and never learn because of that. Oh, remember, you're never going to be perfect. And, it's so much better just to have that feeling of it having been done. But I know how you feel, Willie. You're not alone. And it took me a while to just realize how important it is just to have finished work. And as far as learning, finished work is what's really going to be your learning tool. And I'm just spraying through that. And what that does, it gives a organic skin texture. See that? And then I can go ahead and get rid of it in areas if I want. There we go. But it really is great. And don't be so hard on yourself, Willie. We all are. And I know it's easier to say than do it, But, it's really just about doing your best, and, and everyone will applaud you, We're all on the road. It doesn't matter. It's like when I go to the gym and I see a lot of people, at different parts of their fitness journey, and it's all cool. We all support each other, and and everyone's at different levels, and but yes, and but always cut yourself a break. We always have to cut ourselves a break. I do. Believe me, I have some paintings that I haven't finished because I have an approach avoidance. So you're definitely not alone, Willie. We all basically suffer that. But that's a good thing. It means that you take it seriously too. I mean, that part is good, that you take it seriously. So you can see we're getting a nice feeling. And Brad says he feels the same way as well. And you guys, oh, he's learned to just enjoy that's exactly it. Just enjoy the process. The journey is everything, you know? And it's great to have that love for art, and that's what it's all about, that love for creating. And that's what it's all about. And I kept saying that today on the channel, but that's what I really want everyone to enjoy, is that love for this medium. The love of trying the technique, and doing things like mainly getting control of this thing. When I first picked up the airbrush, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get control of this thing. I'm sure you guys felt that way. It's like, oh my god. And then you see those airbrush guys and Airbrush Action magazine when that was in publication, and they were just like, the wizards. I mean, what black magic are they using to do it? And it just was the fact that it's just practice and getting information from other people, and then you giving the information that you learned to others. And Tone says you have to push yourself. You improve every time, and every time is the next time you improve on the last time, right? And that's what I do. This painting, there's some things I learned from it, but I'm not going to try and fix it in this painting. The next one, I'm going to try and fix it. So, it's like a pragmatic approach to learning. It's, one painting at a time, but they're linked in fixing as you go. And so little by little we get there, but it's great because we can share our experiences with each other, which is really fantastic. With here in Ink Flingers, we have an Ink Flingers group, which is really great on Facebook. If you haven't, go ahead and join that. That's Ink Flingers. Just type that in groups, and we'll go ahead and approve you right away. So if you're not already in there. And you see very little, very slowly, we're creating the light texture of her hair. Really doing the 1 second rule, even when you're doing highlights, or especially when you're doing highlights in her hair. And over here, we'll start working on some spectral highlights here and there. Oh wow, guys, look at that. It's 11:30. So we did really great today. It's great when we go over. It means that we were having fun and the painting was going in a good direction. So we went ahead and did the sequin for the most of the part, and Gloria won the painting. So next week we're going to start with the giveaway of a year subscription to Airbrush Step by Step magazine. So that's very exciting. So, and Bill says, I can't imagine how bad I'd be if I was perfected 10 paintings if I just perfected 10 paintings a year. Exactly. So just do as many as possible. That's great. So thank you, everybody. It's so great to hang out, and Tone and Willie and Brad and Rick and Mark, Gloria, and let's see. I know Brad. Did I say Brad? And 88 Mark. That's everybody. And let's see. John was here. He was a new person, which was fantastic. And anyone else I forgot, I do apologize. But everyone is important. So I really appreciate you spending your New Year's Day with me. Christian, we did say Rick and David, so that's cool. So I think we got everybody. If I missed you, I do apologize. You were still very important. My brain is fried. So I hope you have a great rest of the week. We're going to go with part 6 next week. So I think we may be finishing with Chenoa next week. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are. And thank you for making my Wednesday night perfect. Take care, guys.